Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is HowFast. Beautiful day today. It's Saturday and Easter weekend, so happy Easter to all you guys. Hope everyone's staying safe. I'm going to pick back up where we left off last week. I had put that piece along the side of the trans tunnel and with some L angle, and I didn't like the way it was sitting in there. It makes sense I don't like the way it was sitting in there because I used 90-degree pieces of L angle when I originally designed this using these cardboard templates. I had the piece leaning to make it more, I don't want to say symmetrical to this side. It was never my intention to make it symmetrical to the driver's side, but more just kind of like leaning down as opposed to being very straight up and like that. And I guess I just gapped on that when I was putting this together with Derek the other day. So I've already cut one side off of that VHB tape, which was very time consuming. So I've saved you guys a bunch of time there, and I'm just going to I'm going to finish cutting the bottom of these off, and then we're going to start piecing those in with some bent pieces of some of this leftover stuff we have from the cutoff. So I'm going to bend some of this up, cut it up, make it into little tabs, and then we'll stick it in there, and hopefully this should then fit a little bit better than it was, certainly better than it was last week. So I'm going to get started on that right now. Stay tuned. Everybody saying how fun this stuff is to get off? No joke. What I got going on here, basically, so I'm going to have this piece that's up on the rail here. I'm going to have it tilting in, like this. Okay, but when it gets to this point here, because of the length of it, that's the height I want it at, on that back corner. So I almost have to take this whole piece and put a twist in it so that it meets up nicely down here and doesn't fight me to want to have this thing leaning over here. So I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to try and put it in the vise. I'm going to try and put a little twist on it. Let's hope I turn this the right way. This way. Ooh. Turning my vise and not turning the aluminum at all. Okay, so I pulled that piece, I set it in there, I marked where I wanted to overlap. Now I've laid down some VHB there. This should stick to the inside of the trans tunnel and hold this in place. Hopefully where I want it to be. That's where I think everything should be. We're going to try this one out and see how everything fits. Something like that. Put a little more bend on this piece. Okay, so when we're all said and done, this is what we end up with. And it's the same piece, but I've put a bend in it here. And you can also see that this kind of curves off this way now. And that actually has it fitting up pretty nice in there. So I'm going to grab a couple small pieces of that aluminum we have over there. I'm going to cut it up into some manageable sizes, and I'm going to start kind of bending them around here and see if we can make some tabs to mount this in there, even temporarily. Okay, show you guys what we got going on right now. So I took that piece for the trans tunnel. I put a rib nut in it down on that end to hold the tunnel up at the level I wanted it at, so it's nice and flat now. I'm happy with that, how that one's sitting. And then this, basically, from where this ends, this is going to be riding the inside of that rail all the way down, and it's going to end up tucking up in here pretty nice. So a couple more rib nuts, a couple more pieces of that tape. Gonna have to pull some of this stuff back out to put some of the bottom braces in, but it's lining up much better than it did the first time. So a little bit more thought, not just so thrown together, but it's coming along. Okay, step 2. I took a piece of L angle, threw another rib nut in it, and I stuck it to the rail. And so now I've got these 2 points where I want them, one right above the other in plane. And you can see it tapers off to this point right here, where this is where everything kind of, that twist comes out and everything straightens up right here. So for this point to the end here is 24 inches. So at that point there, where I hit the outside edge of that rail, I'm now going to get a piece of flat aluminum plate, and I'm going to stitch these 2 together all the way along this edge here with one piece. So I'm going to go get that right now. Okay, so cut that little chunk out, or left this little piece, 24 inch. Put a couple rivets in it, or rib nuts. So I'm going to probably pull that piece out of the car right now and then set this one on it, and that should help let me figure out exactly where I'm going to put these holes. And then I can put that piece back on the car and then mark these and then drill those on the rail of the car. I think you know what I mean. There's that plate there on the inside of that piece. So now I'm going to go in there and mark those holes and then pull that piece back out and drill into that rail. Just like that, I've got that piece in there. I drilled out one of the holes, that one right there. Actually, I drilled all 3, but when I got down there, I realized that getting the massive riv nut tool into the trans tunnel area and that space down there is nearly impossible. So I've got to kind of come up with another solution of how I'm going to affix those on the bottom there, because I do want those nice and tight there so that I can pull back on that piece right now. So you can see over here. So what we got going on now, everything's starting to kind of come together. This piece down here, you can see this gap is what I'm talking about. I want to be able to suck that closed, but then basically we just pull this over, we tie these in here, and we end up with pretty good shape, pretty good fit. I'd say there's 3/16 of an inch gap there. I might be able to fill that again with some angle or something from the back. I don't know. We'll see when I like final fit, but I got to figure out what I'm doing down here right now to try and get those in there. What I have here is an assortment of brackets that I've just kind of like made real quick out of some aluminum angle, cut them up, and I'm going to go size them up, fit them up against there, mark up on the car where I need it, and then I'm going to pull the panel out and mark that, drill that, and then I should be able to permanently mount that piece in there. We'll see right now. Well, boys, there's what we got right now for today. Not a bad day's work, if you ask me. Got a little gap here. I'm going to fill a couple more pieces of angle. I'm going to slap in there, but all in all, it's coming together. Got a little bit of a gap there, like I said, up in this area here. Let me fill that in from the back with a piece of angle or a piece of flat stock. I don't know. Still got this big gaping hole here. I had, our light's dying. I had a piece down here from before, but it's just, I don't think it's going to be large enough. So I may have to find another piece to fill that. But for now, like I said, a couple pieces here. I'm going to work on this back piece next and getting this floor cut and mounted tight. So, okay, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. So I would say that trans tunnel piece is in its final resting place. I just need to get a couple more fasteners, a couple more pieces of tape on it, and that piece is good. Like I said, probably put the floor pans in here maybe later today if I can get Derek to come out here. We'll get some face masks and some Lysol and see if we can make it through the afternoon and do a little bit more work. Maybe possibly get those springs on there. So I'm going to give him a holler right now. But in case I don't get in touch with him and we don't get a chance to get back to this till next week, just don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. We want to see all your comments, and if you know somebody who's interested, if you know somebody who's a first responder, or at this point, someone who's serving firsthand in the community, share it with them. Let them know what we're up to. Love to take them for a ride sometime. I'll catch up with you guys next time. Find out how fast we can make this car go.